I do a lot of stuff in the connectivity world, a lot of things with broadband connections and dedicated internet circuits, and I needed a way to actually test a dedicated internet circuit as well as the block of routed IP address space assigned to that circuit. I needed a way to test it quickly with nothing but a laptop. So I came up with a process, and this is that process. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in and check it out. Alright, so here's the architecture of a dedicated internet connection. You have the internet and the ISPs network. Typically you're going to have a /30 subnet on the WAN link between the internet service provider and whatever device it is that you terminate that connection with. Typically a router, and then you have a default route that points back to the IP address on the internet service provider's side of the link, and that takes you to the internet, takes your traffic to the internet. If you have a routed block of addresses, such as 203.0.113.0/24, the ISP is going to have a route towards your side of the link for that. In this case, we have a host on the other side that's in that quote-unquote LAN block of addresses, and it's assigned the second address in the subnet. The first address in the subnet is the router. So it's a pretty standard dedicated internet connection design. Of course, when you get the information from the ISP, it's going to look something like this. Typically, I see it called WAN, WAN and LAN, which can be a little confusing, right? Because you typically think of LAN IPs as RFC 1918 address space. Now, this is cool. This is a pretty typical routing design, very straightforward routing design. IP addresses are assigned directly to the interfaces. But if we don't yet have a router configured and we want to just test this circuit with our laptop, what we can do is something like this. We can just assign our laptop an address on that WAN link. If it's a copper port, you can plug right in. If it's a fiber handoff, you probably got to put it into a layer 2 switch and bring it out of a copper port that way. But all in all, you could put your laptop on this circuit and test it and just ping from this address out to the internet, and you should in fact get reply traffic. Now that's great. That tests the first portion of the link, the WAN link IP information. But if we want to test the routed IP information, in other words, the route that's sent to us, that address space that we're free to use behind the service provider, we're going to have to do something else. And of course, you can set up a router and a loopback address to test this. You can just put a loopback that assigns one of these addresses right on this device. It's always up because it's a loopback, and you can source traffic from it, ping to the internet, and ensure you get a reply. In this case, we're going to do a little bit of a hack on our laptop and assign this address, this first address, really any address in the subnet, to be a secondary address on the laptop. And you say, well, how's that going to work? That secondary address doesn't have a default gateway. You're right, it does not. However, when it puts traffic on the link, the host, the laptop, can source traffic from there, and then when traffic returns, it lands on this device and it sees it, and it kind of goes from there. With that being said, though, let's jump into my Windows laptop here, and I'll show you exactly how this works and how you can test this in your network. What we want to do is go into Windows. We want to pull up our Ethernet adapter that's plugged into the internet service provider's handoff point. Go ahead and open up Properties for the network interface. Go to IP version 4 and Properties. Now you can see here I already have an IP address configured that's going to pair with the address on the other side of the link from the ISP. Of course, they are .1, I am .2 on this device. And from here, I should be able to ping the other side of the link. There we go. We can ping the other side of the link, no problem. We can actually ping, let's ping all 7s just because we're lucky, and that responds as well. So we have internet connectivity on the link to the internet service provider. What we want to do now is actually go and add a secondary IP address so that we can test sourcing traffic from that address as well. One last thing I'll show you is Wireshark. I have a capture running looking for ICMP packets. We can actually source this ping. Again, we'll just do a single ping. You can see that, again, that is sourcing from that address. If we do a ping without the source option, that -s option, you will see something different. It's sourced, in this case, it's sourced from the secondary IP address. In the second ping example, it's sourced from the physical interface itself. Ultimately, this shows that both subnets of IP information from the internet service provider are working. We can say, hey, yes, we can take acceptance of this circuit and then start configuring our firewall, our router, our other devices from there.